Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Socratic Dialogue. Today we have this six participants who will be, who have joined us for the Socratic Dialogue on Chief Financial Officer, right? So today we are going to talk about some of the principles of finances, right? Now you might be wondering why the principles of finances, right? How is it relevant to me? Finance is just about money and stuff. Why should I learn it and stuff? But let me tell you, finance is not just about money, right? It's a lot more than that. Finance is about making better decisions, right? Finance is about managing risks in your organization and getting higher return and stuff, right? So there's a lot more to finance. What is that lot more, right? What is that lot more that I'm talking about? That's what this people will talk about in today's SD. So, right, let us get started without wasting any more time. We can get started with introductions, right? So all the participants and the mod and myself, we can introduce ourselves, and then we will go ahead with the presentations and stuff, right? Let's go. So who would like to go ahead and introduce themselves first?
Yeah, I would like to. So, um, I'm Shiva. Shivaram. I'm a graphic designer in JSMS. I was working in past 2 months.
Sivaram, your voice is a bit low. Can you please speak a
Yeah,
bit louder?
yeah. I'm Shivaram. Um, I'm as a graphic designer. I was working in JSMS for past 2 months. So I'm and I'm and I'm here as a team Raghuram project.
Great. Thank you, Sivaram. Anyone else would like to introduce themselves?
Hello everyone, my name is Pab. Hello. Hello everyone, my name is Pavni. I am data scientist at JSMIS and I'm working here from past 2 months.
Great. Thank you, Pawni. Anyone else would like to introduce themselves?
I'll go next. So,
Sure.
hi everyone, I am Anjika Bair. I am working as a UI designer at Deep Thought from the past approximately 2 months. That's all from my side. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Anjika. Anyone else?
Sure, Tushar. Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Purva. I am currently working as a growth hacker at Deep Thought's Sistering Innovation Project, GSMIS. And I'm from Team Raghuram Rajan. So, thank you.
Great. Great. Thank you, Purva. Anyone else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hi guys, I'm Monica. I'm currently working as a developer in residence at Deep Thought from 1 month.
Great. Thank you, Monica. Yeah. Anyone else?
Hi everyone, I'm Gautami. I've been working as behavioral science researcher at Deep Thought for the past 3 months.
Great. Thank you, Gautami. Yeah. So those are all the live participants. Someone, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, hi everyone. Myself Shawan. So I am a software developer and a leader at Deep Thought, and I'll be co-monitoring this discussion along with Tushar.
Great, great. Thank you, Sawan. And hello, guys. I'm Tushar. I'm a product researcher at Deep Thought. And yeah, here we are having this dialogue. I hope you will enjoy. Let us start with it. So, okay. Okay, so just to give some context, so even though we are discussing the financial concepts, we have this question, which we are trying to answer, right? So we have a lot of financial principles, and what the two teams will do is that they have this question, which is how are you using the principles of finance to leverage financial growth in your organization, right? So both the teams have their own ideas. So what they will do is they will present certain problem statements, and they will talk about how they are going to solve those problem statements using the financial principles to leverage that financial growth in their organization, right? So that's what will happen. Now we can go ahead with the pitch. Which team would like to take the initiative and pitch first?
I think our team can pitch.
Awesome. Please go ahead, Team Raghuram Rajan. Okay, we did not ask this earlier. I'm sorry. Would you also like to, describe why you have chosen that name? Why Raghuram Rajan? Also, Team Learn Field, but Raghuram Rajan, would you like to go ahead first? Why the team name?
Sure. So Raghuram Rajan is, he's one of those celebrated economists in India. who introduced or who invented dosa economics, which has made understanding economics and finances much easier than just understanding the jargons of finances. Understanding jargons of finances make it a lot difficult for us to understand what is happening in finances actually, because there are numbers which people are scared of, and again there are jargons which are going above the head. And that dosa economics, where Raghuram Rajan uses food examples to make sure that we understand economics, finances in a very low man language. So that is why we chose the ex-governor of RBI, Raghuram Rajan.
Oh, that was very interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Purva. What about Team Learn Fin? Why did you go ahead with that name?
We wanted to establish how important it is to understand financial concepts.
Gautam, you are not audible clearly. Can you hold the mic a bit closer,
Am I audible now?
but very low?
Now am I audible?
Yes, it's fine now.
We wanted to establish how it is important to understand financial concepts. So it is self-explanatory that Learn Fin is about learning finance.
Interesting. Thank you for that, Gautami. All right, let's start with the presentations now. And Anjika said that the team would like to go ahead first. So yeah, please go ahead, start your presentation. And guys, no more than 2 minutes. Right after 2 minutes, I will stop you. Okay, the timer is going on. So please share your presentation.
Sure, I can't share.
Oh, okay, just a second. I will give that permission. You should be able to share it now. Can you try it once?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
So hello everyone, we are Team Raghuram Rajan, and we will be presenting our problems and our principles of finance and using them to solve our current problems. Next slide, please. So one problem that we identified in our JSMIS and Deep Thought community was that our ability to not be able to decide between taking an L&D session and managing the priority tasks at hand. So we wanted to use the principle of opportunity cost, wherein we will try to understand the short-term and long-term impact of each opportunity and take decisions based on the decision which gives the most revenue. So I would like to explain this as an example, right? So for example, there is a person named Chintu. So he is able to complete 58 projects in a year, and each project gives the revenue of 10 lakhs. And that is when he is getting L&D, right? He is learning, he is participating in learning and development. But without L&D, he is able to complete only 10 tasks, which is like a loss of 48 lakhs, right? But so there we can prioritize. We can see that the opportunity to we need to have L&D so that we can increase the productivity, right? But for example, we have a priority task which needs to be done because it's choking the system and we are losing out on like 15 lakhs on one project. So there we can see that if one project is gaining us 10 lakhs, but if that priority task is not done, we are losing out on 15 lakhs, then there is a loss of 5 lakhs, right? So there we are incurring a loss. So we can see that which opportunity gives us the right amount of revenue, and wherever the revenue is higher, we use that opportunity to have decisions. So that was one problem that we identified, and we connected it with the principle of opportunity cost. Next slide, please.
Team Raghuram Rajan, your 2 minutes are over. Since only one principle was mentioned, can you please be super brief and mention the other principles as well and how you're using it?
Next slide, please. So the next principle was of marginal utility, where the problem was that we had to decide on working on getting more beds or giving better quality of food. So there we can equate where are we losing out on? Like we are losing out on like if we are getting less food, are we getting less productivity? Or if we are getting more beds, are we getting more revenue as we are getting more people? So there we are using the concept of marginal utility. So next slide.
Yeah.
Purva.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Anshika. The next we use the strategy, the financial strategy, which is behavioral economics. So the problem that we identified was students, not a lot of students were joining optional young CTO classes that were provided by Deep Thought at JSMIS, or rather St. Mary's College. So so how am I going to use financial strategy is will brand and market the young CTO classes with peer examples and with the content that will attract and value to them. Here we are using the psychology and social aspect of uh, of the students who are our target consumers of this. And how will this impact? More students will join the classes because their peers have joined the classes. Plus, they feel that these classes will help them. Yeah. So that's it. The next slide, please.
Yeah, the risk is in JSMIS, there is a, like who said before, that we are conducting that optional CTO classes. For that, the students are really want to participate in CTO classes, but the reason is they are coming from home, like day scholars. So the CTO class is conducted at the evening after the college hours, so they can't sit and study. Yes, they can't sit and learn this, attend the CTO classes. For that, we are offering the students to join the hostel, but they can't offer that. They can't pay that full fees of hostel. So the thing is, our plan is like just we are planning to ask the students to come to faculty hostel, and they have to pay their mess bill only. They don't have to pay the entire fees of uh, hostel fees. So the risk is here, after a semester, the students don't want to continue in the hostel, that the accommodation cost is like going to loss, right? So this is the risk in this problem. So, uh, so for that risk, we are planning 50% of any, we are, if the student was understand by the value of the CTO classes, the students will automatically join the hostel. So it will not going to loss. It will increase. It will not going to loss. It will not going to profit, but it will maintain the balance of amount, right? So that's
Yeah, sure. Next slide, please.
yeah.
Yeah. So in conclusion, Tushar, will have to everyone will want to say that understanding the principles of finances not only help us in managing our money better, but rather taking measured and informed decisions, make strategies, uh, considering the financial aspect of any organization, and making unbiased use of resources, different resources that were provided to us without considering our our own emotions and feelings here. So yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Team Yogunam Rajan. You can stop sharing your screen. Okay, so just to get started, right, I'll ask a few questions and then Team LearnFin can go ahead and ask the questions, right? When talking about the risk one, you said that, students will join the CTO classes and they might leave they will join the hostels, right? And they might leave the hostel after a month, after a semester, and the organization is closing out, right?
Yeah.
So how are you are making that assumption that if they join the CTO program, they at least 50% of the people will stay back, right? On what basis are you making that assumption, first of all?
So right now, we have a data which have that students are attending that CTO classes, right? Initially, the students, based on that data, that 50%, that if if the CTO classes is count is 60, right now there are only 15 to 20 students are consistently attending the CTO classes. Behind the reason is they are test scholars. One, the main reason is they are test scholars. They can't stay after uh, 3:30. So they have to go to home. In this village, they don't have that proper facility to go, transportation. So based on this, so already they are voluntarily wants to join and learn something. So after this, the reason of the transport, they are leaving the right. So we will make them. We will try this to give the opportunity to the students. If they really interested, they automatically they will continue with this, right?
Isn't it an assumption that they will continue with you, right? So that's an
Tushar,
assumption.
if I'm not wrong, your question is, so I want to clarify, get clarity on your question. Are you asking about the students continuing with us in the CTO classes, or are you asking about the students continuing in the hostel?
Hostel. I'll just
Hostel,
clarify my
right?
question quickly,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
the point that was mentioned was people are staying in hostel, let's say certain people are, but there's this concern that you have that after 6 months, after a semester, people might leave the hostel, right? Which is a risk for you guys. So to reduce the risk, you have this assumption that if people really enjoy the young CTO classes, they will not leave the classes, right? At least 50% of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Sure, Tushar, I understood your question. So, Shiva, can I go on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Tushar, before answering this question, we may want to understand what CTO classes offer. So, CTO classes offer business acumen and business acumen, psychology, plus those good habits to students, which will help them to learn. Not only learn but enjoy learning. So the major problem that is going on right now is these students may leave the classes or may leave the hostel or may drop off from the engineering college is due to they are not able to enjoy that learning or they don't know how to learn. So if you equip them with a tool or with something which will help them to enjoy learning or make them learn how to learn, so then automatically there will be decrease in the dropouts of from the hostels, right?
Right. Makes sense.
I
Thank you for
hope
that.
this helps.
It made sense. Right. Okay. Sure. That was one question that I had asked, right? I hope that both the teams started. Let's go ahead with Team Learnfin and have their questions. Yeah, Team Learnfin, any question?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When we were discussing about marginal utility, we focused on bed and food, how we are going to increase food and check if it is associated with high productivity and all that. So how is it related to financial strategies and principles? Because it is the fundamental that we will be looking on and how we are relating it with.
Marginal utility is basically the measurement of satisfaction, right? That that someone like our customer or whoever is getting. So we had this problem, right? Like that, for example, you need 80 beds, but right now you just have 70 beds, okay, for people, and 10 people do not have any bed. And there is another problem that the food is bad, so you have just enough resources to either provide 10 more beds or improve the quality of food. So we have to see which is improving, like which is providing more satisfaction to the people, right? Like if I am giving them proper accommodation, is that increasing their productivity? Is that increasing my revenue more? Or providing good quality of food is increasing my revenue more? How will it increase my revenue? By if the food is good, then the person will be happy, they will be able to perform better, the productivity will be, better, right? So is the productivity of 70 people getting better is more important? Is it getting me more revenue, or providing 10 more beds and getting 80 people to work for me at a lesser productivity is getting me more revenue? So using the concept of marginal utility, I can see which aspect is providing more satisfaction and hence more revenue to my company.
Okay, is the satisfaction supposed to be for your organization or the people? So if I'm getting like, how is the like, isn't the marginal utility about the satisfaction of the customers? Who is the customer in
Yes.
this case, and how are they getting satisfied?
So if the customer is getting good food, then they are happier, they are able to perform better. And hence, if they're performing better, if they have higher productivity, then our organization is getting more revenue, right? Because people are working better, they are more effective, right? So in that way, we are relating it with the customer.
So how are you measuring that satisfaction level?
So again, we are not measuring it. It is just a way of measurement, like using that principle of marginal utility. The company can measure these two aspects and
Okay,
then
so how
decide.
are you using this marginal utility, the way of measurement, to see if people are satisfied or not?
Um, to see if people are satisfied. Again, so we will have to measure like what if, yeah, Purva, you want to add?
Yeah, so I think it's a good question, Tushar. We didn't think about it earlier, but after you ask the question, I think we can use NPS, which is Net Promoter Score, to measure the satisfaction level. So if people are satisfied, it's natural that they'll go and promote your college. Like, so right now we're talking in college context, right? So it's natural that, if the students are getting proper bed, proper accommodation, or good food, they'll be satisfied. Now if they are satisfied, they'll go out and talk about the college, that this college is good, it's giving good accommodation and all of that. So you can help, you can you can also enroll your child in this college, something like that.
Okay, but marginal utility also says that, I'll call marginal utility as MU, right? Because I'm struggling saying that entire word. So MU says that if with every one more unit of consumption, right? Like, let's say that you have provided one bed to a person, right? Now, okay, let's say that the person had one lunch in your canteen, right? Again, they will have one more lunch, right? So they might be satisfied at that point, but after continuous consumption, the satisfaction level might go down, right? It can either go up or go down. So what if, let's say after two lunch, the person is satisfied and they start promoting, but after, let's say, 10 to 12 lunches, they are not satisfied any longer, right? So yeah, how do you deal with that situation? Doesn't that affect your NPS score that you have gathered?
Right. So Tushar, if we talk about food, right? So it's on us. How do we keep improving the quality of food? And I think the other aspect that could come here is what is the different kinds of food you give people, different tastes of food that you give people. So, for example, generally in in general hostels that we see outside, it's like, if 6 days they'll not give you the same food. They'll not for on Wednesday they'll have a feast, a small feast. On Sunday they'll have a huge feast. They'll have a sweet along with that, or something like that. So I think
Okay.
that variation in what you're giving food and improving the quality day by day will help maintaining the NPS.
Also,
Okay.
does that
Let's
answer your question, Tushar?
Yeah, it does. So let's have a follow-up, right? Let's not
Yeah.
stretch it. One more question, and then we'll go ahead with Team Learn ka question. Purva, you said that based on the satisfaction level of theirs, you will keep on improving the quality of the food, right? So the satisfaction might get affected on a lot of factors, right? So let's say today I'm satisfied with the food, tomorrow I'm not satisfied, then again I'm less satisfied. So what you do, you increase the quality, right? So fourth day I'm quite satisfied. Again, fifth day I'm not satisfied. So again, you increase the quality. Doesn't that create a problem for you? You will just keep on. You'll have to invest more money. You'll have to think of creative ways to invest. Improve the quality of food. So yeah.
So if on the fifth day, Tushar, you have liked the food, you're satisfied with the food that was given.
Hmm.
So can we step back and see what was the food that was provided, what went into that food, and why the person is satisfied. So let's say the person is satisfied because uh, the salt in the food is very accurate.
Okay.
That is why the person is satisfied. So can we make a SOP out of it? That every time we are making the food, we need to maintain that ratio of food and salt.
But that's me, right? There are thousands of students in the campus. How do you do
So
that for?
I don't think when you are trying to satisfy, when you're trying to satisfy, you can satisfy each and every one. You need to go with the majority. So
So let's talk about majority itself, right? So 501 people are satisfied, 499 people are not satisfied, right? So for 501 people, how do you, measure their satisfaction level and increase your food quality for them, like
what we
maintain
can
that
do is
quality?
we can create Google forms which can collect the data. I think this everything that you're doing will be based on data, right? So if you collect the data and give them a questionnaire, which allows them to give proper feedback on how the food is
Okay,
with each and every aspect, then you'll be able to create and understand why the food was satisfactory, right?
sure. But again, don't you think that there's a problem with this? Let's say you're giving feedback form to those 501 majority people. So you'll have to gather some people who will go through all the feedback form, who will mention all the takeaways from the feedback, right? And then plan on how they're going to improve the quality of the food, actually execute those feedback. So doesn't that increase the financial pressure on the organization?
Tushar, I feel that if there is a mess, right, you can't cater to 1,000 people. Always messes, cater to 300, 400 people because they can cater to them. They can view each and every opinion and, satisfy most of the people. So taking 1,000 people in mind is not a very good idea, right? So we can just focus on the number of people that are currently there in JSMIS because that is a real life problem. And then we can discuss on that.
Sure. Then let's, how many people are there? 300, let's say.
Actually, there are 1,100 people. Yes,
That's why I said 100, 1000,
And
right?
there is
That's what,
one mess.
yeah, one was.
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, so I think I got your Tushar. I got your question, Tushar. Your question is, wouldn't measuring this 1,000 people's feedback would increase the financial pressure? So I think again we'll have to equate the financial pressure that's coming in, right? Would you want to keep experimenting with the food without going for the data every day and take that financial pressure, which also in turn, makes you take that mental pressure, or rather go with the data, maybe take some financial pressure for some time, maybe, for a week or 2 weeks, get the proper data, prepare a proper SOP, and, go with a plan.
Okay, sure, that makes sense. Okay, let's have Team Landfin, no question. Landfin, please go ahead with your questions. I'm sure you must have a lot of them.
Yeah, like, could you give me more clarity on the opportunity cost? Like, what is the opportunity cost that you included in your strategy? How you included opportunity cost?
Sure. So, so opportunity cost is basically when you have two options, right, and you are able to choose from just one. So the problem that we gave was that uh, there are two options, right? You deciding between taking an L&D session and you doing a priority task. So so in order to do that, right, you're using the principle of opportunity cost. And for example, there's a person called Chintu, and he is doing L&D, and because he is doing L&D, he is able to complete 58 projects in a year, and he's getting 10 lakhs for all the projects. So it's like 58 lakhs the company is earning. But if he's not doing L&D, then he's only able to do 10 tasks. So the company is losing out on 48 lakhs, right? But then so here you would want to, prioritize L&D. But at the same time, if there is a priority task, which is like blocking the system, and it is creating a loss of 15 lakhs, right? And that project is earning you 10 lakhs, then you are in a loss of 5 lakhs, right? So there you want to, prioritize the task instead of going to that L&D session. So there, every opportunity has a cost that you're incurring. So if you're not attending that L&D session, obviously you're losing out on some of the revenue. Maybe you would not be able to, complete one. You will be able to complete one project less. So that is a loss of 10 lakhs. But not doing the priority task will incur a cost of 15 lakhs. So, so there you are using that concept of opportunity cost.
So if I have a priority task and also I have an L&D. So if I choose L&D, what will be the opportunity cost I will be losing, like by not doing my priority task? And if I choose priority task, what will be my opportunity cost of not choosing L&D?
Yeah, Pavni, it's subjective, right? So let's say that, as Anjika said, there are two scenarios. What Anjika explained were two different scenarios. It depends on what is going to give you more revenue. That is what you'll choose, right? Not only in short term, but also you need to take the long term revenue consideration. Maybe for
Pawani,
short term L&D meant, sure, go ahead, Tushar.
Pawani, does that answer your question? Okay, Pawani is not there. Maybe Gautami, Gautami, Monica, do you have any follow-up? No follow-up. Okay, then I have a follow-up. Purva, you said that you will look at the revenue or thing, right? Like which one is getting you more revenue, but you also mentioned it's subjective. How is it subjective if you're looking at the revenue stuff, if you're making estimations?
No, it's subjective to the situation, Tushar, is what I meant. So
can you give an example?
So let's say, sure. So at times, Tushar, L&D might give you a better revenue in long term rather than choosing a priority task. Whereas, it could be vice versa, right? It depends. So let's say, I am in a situation where if I do that L&D, so there's an L&D on conversational intelligence, which is very important from perspective of branding. Now I have that L&D, and second, I'm supposed to send joining letters to 30 people, and if I don't send the joining letters to those 30 people, I won't have those 30 people on campus by next Monday. If this happens, then the students won't have the teachers to teach. It will stop students from attending the class. It might make us lose the project, the entire JSMS project, as deep thought.
Right.
So now in this situation, it becomes important for me to work on sending 30 joining letters, right?
Right.
And I mean, maybe it's just a suggestion that maybe take a recording of the L&D and watch it later.
Right. Sure.
So that is why I meant subjective to the situation.
Right. Makes sense. I will end this round, but just I want to make this one point. Don't you think that when they're like opportunity, because we have two different choices, right? So when one of the choices creates pressure of priority, then the opportunity cost is the other thing, right? But you have to you do not have a choice at that point. You have to bear that opportunity cost, right? Because it's a priority work that you have to do. Which in most cases you will end up being going with the priority one, right? Okay, just a clarification thing that was, but okay, great guys. I think no more follow-ups from team LearnFin, so we'll move to the next round. Right, so let's go ahead. Team LearnFin, would you like to give a presentation? We realized that 2 minutes is not enough for the presentation of slides, so you have 4 minutes. Right after the 4 minutes, I will stop you, and if the pitch is not done, it is not done. Right? So yeah, please go ahead.
Is my screen visible?
It is, yes.
So we are team LearnFin, and our pitch first we'll be starting with opportunity cost. The problem that we are facing here is that large scale validation of TP L&D model. here we are making an assumption that we will be missing out on immediate profit projects that requires immediate profit, and we are preferring to work with JSMIS that had to test the L&D model of among thousands of students. Here, the aspect that we are looking is that by working with JSMIS, we'll expect higher profits in the future. And the impact is that we'll be able to validate TT L&D model, which will help us in attracting more clients, and it will also create the trust that it is clear and helpful. And the next is risk management. So here TT is a startup that is trying to survive, but since we are missing out on immediate profit by taking a huge risk, similar to the earlier problem statement, we are not just going out with like taking up JSMI's problem, but also the other projects at the same time. Here it is higher risk because we will not be able to focus completely on both the projects simultaneously. But the aspect that we are looking at here is that we have higher risk. Anything could happen, the uncertainty is here. But the principle here is that we have high risk and there are high chances that we'll give high returns. So even if one project fails, let's say any project, one among the two, if any one fails, we have higher chances that we'll be able to survive as a startup, because we have another project that keeps going on and we'll have the income from there, passive income from there. So that is about risk management. And behavioral economics. Here the problem statement is that we are not getting enough clients to focus on, because we have been focusing more on JSMAs, we're not able to get more clients other than JSMAs. So here what we will be doing is that we'll create a sense of feeling a fear of missing out, that thousands of students are getting the exposure to learning and development, and the people at other organizations are missing out such learning and development model. So when we create this fear through various nudges, people will be able to, they'll start applying and we'll have a surge in client acquisition. Here again, another impact is that we'll be able to validate our L&D model in both academic path and also in industry areas. And the next part is corporate social responsibility. Here, as mentioned, students do not have a proper opportunity to utilize the L&D model because there are no basic utilities that is required for a person to concentrate in education at that time. So here TT is creating a pressure so that the university takes proper actions to provide better food to the students. And it also creates a platform to conduct social events that encourage parents to trust this university and send their kids to study here. The impact is that more students will join, and the DT model L&D model gets validated more. And thus, when people study with this DT L&D model, they'll be able to have an accelerated career and development happens thereon. And the next principle is rationality. Usually when organizations they take unintuitive and unplanned choices, and that leads to poor decisions. Using rationality, they are able to think properly and use all of the strategies and make proper, complete, final decisions so that it is rational and effective. So better choices are made and it is efficient and functional. So the conclusion is that when we don't think properly, we take poor decisions, and organization takes more difficulties to do that. And understanding these financial properties principles helps us to take informed approach and efficient function.
Great, thank you for that pitch, Gautami. On point for 4 minutes. Right. By the way, a disclaimer that the problem statements that we came up with, those were assumptions, right? We do not know if the organization is really facing those problems. We just assumed that it is, right? Great. Team Raghuram Rajan, would you like to go ahead and question?
Sure, Tushar. My first question is, how would you create the FOMO from the students to employees? Is it clear, the question?
Yes, it is clear. So here the L&D model states that they will also be focusing in development, right? They'll be working and also will be learning, like web development, 3 years of learning, and also they'll be coding. So employees, when they are getting exposed, that students during their college period are able to work and also learn and have that exposure. They will also, since they are professionals, they will have this fear of missing out, that they are at a comparatively better place, that they'll be working completely. So this learning drills will help them, and they will be able to create time and come back and learn.
Okay, so who are the employees that you're targeting here?
The client companies, like usually
Employees of other organizations.
Okay, but they already know web development and everything that you mentioned in your first answer?
Like in JSMS, are we providing only that web development or other technologies, or we are providing them the business acumen and how to learn? That is a key of their learning, right? Not just the web development. Our Socratic dialogues, LDI.
Okay, but
which-
then still an employee would think that, it's a student who's getting all of this. So a student is supposed to learn and do these things, know these things. Why should an employee know?
More than students, employee is more like they need to know more of this because they are already in the career, and when the employee want to like improve in his career, grow more career, he has already exposed to many people who are growing in accelerated way, and he already have that intention to learn, but he may not have the resources to learn. So we will be providing those resources for them.
All right, makes sense now.
Okay, any more question from Team Raghuram Rajan?
I had a question. So
Yeah.
you talked about rationality. So what is the problem that you're tackling with rationality?
So usually companies don't take decisions before they don't in detail think about what the outcome will be. So for example, in the first statement, opportunity cost, some might prefer over immediate profits, right? They don't have this thought of what will happen in the future or what could happen or how the company can expand further. But by using rationality, we are focusing more on thinking from various elements and looking at areas where we can grow and expand more. So then we'll have that perspective and we'll take decisions more stronger.
So this is just from a general sense, right? Not specific to any company.
Like I would also explain in one of one of the examples that is happening at St. Mary's College. So consider there is a requirement for particular goods. So you went to the store which is in the college. So there are few emergency goods which can be used only during emergency. But people there are being irrational and using those emergency funds also, even if they have chance to place new orders. So there they're making irrational decisions without considering the consequences of that decision. But if they make informed decisions, like what will be the consequence if I take from the emergency funds and not utilize the opportunity to place order, that is affecting the whole system of that purchase, right? There we can provide them the data of emergency funds, emergency assets and goods, and make them make rational decisions based on the data.
Pawani, can you also elaborate on how understanding of this rationality that you just talked about is like? Can you talk more about it specific to finance, right? So let's say that there are people who are taught that you should not use these words because they are restricted. So how is it helping your whatever the organization is in leveraging more financial growth?
Yeah. So if people are not using those emergency funds, emergency goods, and placing the order in the before itself, like when they have, like if they want 10 paper bundles, so in emergency fund they require 5 more paper bundles. If they are not coming at the last moment and placing those 5 paper bundles 2 days before, then there is no need of using those emergency funds. So if the people in the store are saying that these are emergency funds and these can't be used, then they will place the order then and there. So when there is an emergency approval of that paper bundles, the cost will be more because we can't go into the city and like purchase the paper benders, and we can't bargain because it is our emergency. But if the
Okay.
people made some decisions, we can buy from a regular vendor and the cost will be less.
Okay. Purva, you unmuted. Do you have a follow-up? You unmute.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine.
Right. Okay. So basically, Pawan, what you're saying is if people are properly informed and stuff, right? If they are making rational decisions, then the financial loss or gain that might happen could be maintained, right? Basically, that's the point.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, Anjika, that's your answer to the initial question.
Yeah.
Any different question, like any question that you have?
I had a question from the previous discussion. Can I?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Tushar. So, like you guys said that when employees see that students are learning so much, and they might be growing in career much faster than they themselves are growing. So, how is it helping Deep Thought in growing as a company financially? I mean, and if I'm not wrong, you guys mentioned that Deep Thought serves clients, right, not employees.
Right. So, Team Landfin, can you please provide clarification on that aspect? Who are the clients, right? And how is like to whom is the FOMO being created? And if the FOMO is being created to someone, and how is it helping Deep Thought grow?
So usually we have like further other startups that request efficient teams or people who will work efficiently, like few other startups. So startups are our clients that we will be focusing on, and those startups will need people who has the growth mindset. People until now usually study in college and they only know the skill set, but the L&D that Deep Thought is providing focuses more on other aspects such as leadership, all other domains, and all other knowledge. So when such startups, people from that organization, the other client company that we will be focusing on, understand that their team also requires this kind of mindset where they understand everything, which will give them that 10xer mindset, then they will be more interested in coming to Deep Thought so that they'll get this NND model.
Sure. So, what are you doing specifically to get those people to want to? Okay, Purva and Team Raghunamathan, just to clarify, what they're saying is currently Deep Thought is focusing on JSMIS, right? Because of which we are not focusing on other client acquisition, right? Other organizations, we are not selling our DT models to them. But so that's a problem statement, right? So what we can do is we can reach out to those other clients, right? And then we can tell them that, okay, there's this organization. In this organization, there are thousands of students who are using our L&D model. So you can trust our L&D model and you can buy this L&D model. So we get more client, right? By using this 1,000 people example, right? So this will create a FOMO that, okay, 1,000 people are using, so my employees should use as well. That's the point.
So, okay. So here I have a clarification then. Are they creating FOMO? I mean, is Team Learning creating FOMO in employees or in clients, like in companies then?
In the companies, right? Team and Fin, in the founders, like whoever our client is, the organization, customers, companies.
Yeah, budding startups and client companies are
Right. So see, what's happening is Deep Thought is going and telling, let's say, Google that, okay, there are thousands of students who are using my L&D program. So why don't you go ahead and you are not using it, right? Your employees are not using it. So you are missing out a lot. So why don't you go ahead and try it out? So they will have this FOMO ka feeling. Google will have FOMO and they will try it out. That's their strategy.
Understood. But then, what are the specific strategies that they are using that will ensure that this happens?
we can go with campaigns that expresses this that this happened at this college, these many students were able to come out this much better. So certain campaigns will help us to put that the validation in the platform.
I have a follow-up. So as you know, right, like tech giants, they care more about numbers. So just campaigns won't help you. So what are the numbers that you want to present?
Right. So go. Okay. Okay. Just one point. Go to me, Pawani, Monica. You guys know that in JSMS, thousands of people are already using the DDLND model. So what are some of the data that you will get that you want to showcase to, let's say, Google, so that they invest in your LND model? Yeah, Pawani, you were saying something.
One thing is, by this December, we have a vision to make 500 software developers as our unicorns in deep thought. So if we have vision of that by the December, we can do more by the next year, right? So these can be the data we can show for the team.
Can you please not use terms such as unicorns of deep thought, because we do not understand what that means? Can you be more specific?
Like students there working here for the deep thought, they being the product managers and they guiding their juniors.
Okay, that is fine. I mean, they're working in some role, but what impact are they creating? I think just working is not enough, right? Like,
No, what Pawani said was, let's say there are 500 students. By the end of December, the 500 students, they will become product managers. So they will see how many actually became product managers. That's the data that they're collecting. Am I right, Pawani?
And how many people they can inspire, bring more people into this the deep thought or
Okay,
this
so
mindset of.
if those 500 people became product managers, how many more referrals they are getting and getting more people into the community to try the LND model? That's what you're saying. Someone, any follow up, if that
makes
made
sense,
sense? Okay. Any more question from Team Raghuram Rajan? No more question. Okay. Yeah, Purva, you last question will then end.
Okay. I had a question in the first. So while choosing opportunity cost, right? You said that we will be choosing 1,000, LND of 1,000 students rather than choosing immediate profit. So why would we choose that? I mean, how is it helping us to grow financially? Us as in deep thought.
Because here the L&D model, we are having a suitable platform for us to test this L&D model, where we will be able to focus more on that and understand what we can improve on, what we can change, and how it will work, and how we can make use of it. So when we do this, like immediate profits, other projects, we only complete them. Like we have projects, and we complete them. But this model, when we are able to test it, it creates an in-source for people for approaching other clients and getting more projects from there. Instead, that 3 projects will stand there only. We complete that. But when we take up this project, it will help us gain more clients.
And also we are we are interning the students there, right? We are interning as product managers and software developers, where they can work on the projects we can get from the clients. We can show that these are the number of like developers or product managers you have. So
But why would you want to go ahead
clients,
with that?
especially.
If you're training those people, right, isn't it taking time? Let's say after 6 months, those people will be ready to, actually work on projects and give you the value. Again, since it's large scale, thousands of people, it will be very much difficult for you to track the impact, right? Whether or not all the 1,000 people are actually be able to do that, right? So isn't it better to avoid that risk and then just go ahead with small clients and keep on earning profit? Because DeFi is already trying to survive. Higher risk. How do you deal with that? Okay, did it make sense? That was a set of questions. So I'll first question. DeFi is already trying to survive, on the brink of survival, right? Like all startups are. So should you not go ahead with immediate profit instead of, this long-term like LND, JSMS thing, wherein you are assuming that there's no immediate profit? Monica, Pawani, Gautami, do you have any answer? Okay, seems like not. Totally fine. Okay, just think about it. Okay, Pawni, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say, but I don't know if I can say. Like, this is the thing what Tarun always says. Don't think about survival. You'll survive anyway. Conquer the world. So,
Yeah.
so and here we are having clients. It's not like we don't have clients. We can survive anyway, but we are making change here so that we can conquer the world. Higher risk and higher impact, higher returns from it.
Sure. Okay. So you are taking higher risk, so you're expecting higher return as well. But one thing, you cannot go to Google and say that, we are not on the brink of survival. We should not worry about survival, right? They do care about your survival, the numbers and stuff. Okay. Purva, you want to say something?
No, I think it might, I mean, I can say that after we end the dialogue because I wanted to answer what question you asked Pap in the other team. So can I?
You can do it now itself, and everyone would like to have that answer.
Sure. So I think one important point that is missed by Pap, when you are creating, when you are equipping students of St. Mary's College itself or JSMIS itself, what you're doing is you're saving the cost of recruitment, right? Sourcing, then doing their L&D, and then putting them on a project. You're already doing that when they're your students and when they are paying you to do that. So you already have a source, pool of students who are helping you with that. So whenever you get a project later on, you don't have to go and search for the people. You can take up any project. You'll have your people. You have an army of people. You can go and execute the project. So that is how it will help us financially. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. So that reduces the unnecessary stuff that might be there, right? Otherwise. So yeah, great point. Thank you. Pawani, you want to say something?
No.
Okay, great. So it's 9:12. We can end the session now, guys. Thank you so much. It was wonderful listening to all the questions and answers. I hope you gained certain insights. So let's go ahead and share some of those insights that we might have captured, right? Just a small liner. If you want to share some of the insights that you captured, you can, or what was your experience, of being part of this ST, you can say that as well. So yeah, who would like to go ahead and reflect first?
All right, I'll go ahead. Then. I think this is overrated, but I'm just reminding myself and everyone out there that using your words properly do matter. So in one of our slides, we used priority task versus L&D. So I think priority task itself says that priority is priority. That is why it's a priority task, right? You have to do it right now. That's why it's a priority. It has huge impact. That is why it is a priority. So I think that word, if could have been used in a better way, or if that term could have been used in a better way, we would have been able to differentiate it in a much better manner. And apart from this, I think joining Socratic Dialogue after almost 2 years, it's amazing. I think I've been waiting for this opportunity for quite long now, and yes, it did give me clarity. So Tushar, I would want to appreciate you here. You came and you were like, uh, we'll take our own organization problems. So I think that helped me or everyone out here gain that clarity of okay, we have certain problems. All of us know that, but right now we got a direction to work over it. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Purva. Anyone else would like to reflect?
I'll go.
Yeah.
So finance as a concept in itself is very new to me. And I always knew that finance is of course important, but it was always in terms of personal finance. But here connecting finance with business and how understanding how important it is, not just from a shallow point of view, but also understanding the principles, and then understanding the principles, identifying the problem, and then using those principles to solve those problems. So overall, it was a very wholesome journey where, which is essentially what Socratic dialogue is. Like you are getting in-depth knowledge about a certain topic, which I got it. So it, it was it the purpose was served. So it was a very, very interesting experience, very knowledgeable experience for me. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Glad to hear that, Anjika. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to reflect? Pawani, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to go. The, this whole of learning, like previously I don't know what is opportunity cost, the marginal utility, like the economic behavioral economics and all. But through the process of software development, from the preparation to like participate or like presenting that, I got so much clarity in this topic. So if someone asks in the future, I can confidently say that I know these topics. Before I used to assume that I know these topics, but now I got clarity and I'm confident that I know these topics.
Okay, thank you, Pawani. Yeah, Sivaram.
Yeah, so this was my first test day, and initially I was nervous to while we are preparing for our teachers. So we stuck with come up with the problems, but after we realized we have already lots of problems to solve, so we will go with our organization problems. So after this L&D, my my gaining is like, first we have to understand the problem, how the problem going to be solved, and then how the solution, how it will connect with, how it will be impact through the financially to the organization. So initially I was like, if I was seeing that problem, I'll go with only solutions. I can't go with how it will impact with that organization. But now I have some clarity about the principles of finance, so I can think about that, how it will be impact on the organization through the grants. So that's my clarity at this. Yeah, and that's thanks for this opportunity.
Hey, thank you, Sivaram. Yeah, anyone else would like to go ahead and reflect?
Tushar, can I go and just for a quick
Sure,
minute?
sure.
So I think this entire the preparation of entire Socratic dialogue, changed the perspective of how we look at finances or the financial strategies. Finances are not only meant for money; they are more about how do you make decisions. The revenue and all will come later on when you make those measured, informed, correct, strategic decisions. So I think it's more about that, and and what kind of investment you are doing while doing that. So it's not only the money that you are investing, it's also about the emotions, psychology of other people, of yourself, of and also how you are basically trying to bring in all these concepts to create money, to generate revenue is what I understood. So yeah, I think the entire perspective of finances has changed.
Oh, that is great to hear. Thank you, Purva. Yeah. Anyone else would like to reflect?
Yeah. It's starting. Actually, I don't know about the financial strategies and all. So when I came with this SD and all, I explored the things about the opportunity cost and all. With through the discussions and all, I got so many insights about opportunity cost, behavioral economics and all. So I learned so many things. Even though how this opportunity cost and behavioral economics and marginal utility and all, how those are connected to the uh, organization and all. I got an idea about it. Thank you.
Great. Monica, one thing you mentioned, you had a lot of learnings as well, right? Can you mention one of those learnings that you had, just to be more specific?
Yeah, actually, I got a more understanding about the opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost is nothing but where it is an idea that where we have to choose one thing, and also we should not choose another something else. Okay. So here we are going to, like, for example, see, we are there are if I got an opportunity of job letter of getting deep thought job letter as well as a TCS job offer letter. So here I choosing the deep thought instead of TCS. So the opportunity cost is the TCS. Why? Because I chose the deep thought because the L&D sessions and even it is a startup thing. The growth is more than the TCS. So that I chose the deep thought. So I left the TCS because I didn't like that the L&D which is goes on the TCS is not good and all. So this is a specific thing I have learned here through the this talk. Thank you.
Okay, sure, great. Thank you for that, Monica. You used the example of TCS. Okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. There's one point I'll mention later on. But okay, great. Thank you, Monica. Gautami, you were saying something as well. Just go ahead.
This is my first SD as well. Initially, I was very much afraid about because I did initially associated finance to only money and not much about other aspects that it's really associated with. So now when we had that Socratic dialogue, I was able to understand how there are concepts and how questioning helped me to find the root and also the fundamentals. Like when the opposite team questioned us, we had the concept, but somehow we couldn't go into the roots and understand what we could come up with. But initially, when they started questioning, we went into depth and we entered into layers, and then we understood how the concept actually has the answer itself. So that's how Socratic dialogue helped me like understand financial concepts of various elements itself.
Great, amazing. Thank you, Gautami. Yeah, someone would you like to reflect as well?
Yeah. So I mean, my thing is like just based upon what Purva mentioned, right, about decision making. So I think in finances, it's more about numbers, right? Like what we saw, one example, like when you were talking about majority, minority, and also when we saw about how do we show the impact, right? So just telling, okay, we are doing great things, might not be the exact thing what we can convey, but when we like add it with some numbers, right? I think it gives us more clarity of what we're trying to do. So I think, I mean, as we are talking about finances, numbers is one of the things that we can take care of, right? I think that's something something that we want to internalize in any things that we want to present, and that indirectly helps us in decision making also, right? Yeah, like for example, opportunity cost, right? So what is the number that we're missing out, right? When you're choosing one opportunity on top of some other. So I think these numbers will help us in better decision making, and I think yeah, we can incorporate this. Yeah.
Great, amazing. Great. Thank you for that, Sohan. I would also like to mention, two things. First of all, building upon what Anjika said, right? Right. So, like Anjika and Purva, both of them mentioned, right, how finance is not just about money, but a lot of other things. So, one format that we used for this SD was that there was one problem statement. We'll think of one strategy, financial strategy, and we'll deal with that problem statement with a financial strategy, right? The problem statement was not restricted to only financial problems, but it was any problem that the organization is facing. So, it gives us this hint, right, that any problem can be solved with a financial, keeping the financial principles in mind. So, that was quite insightful because again, for a long time you think just finance equals to money, right? And money, everything. But there are principles, right? Finance is about money. Sorry, finance is about principles, and those principles lead to money, right? And that's something that some might care, some might not care, right? So yeah. Another thing was when Purva was talking about the use of terms, right? Like how we have to use the priority of the terms and stuff carefully. So one thing that I realized was in this Socrates dialogue, we went ahead with our own organization problem statements, right? And one thing that we would want ourselves, everyone, to reflect upon is a lot of people who might be watching us, they do not understand our organization, right? They do not understand the problem statement that we are facing. So how can we, talk about our problem statements, right? How can we talk about the strategy solutions and stuff such that those people have a context? It might take some more time to explain stuff, but I think that's good if it's setting context for everyone, right? So how can we be careful? That is something that, I got to reflect upon. So yeah, those were the 2 points. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I had so much fun. I hope you did as well. And we definitely captured a lot of insights, right? As you guys said. So great. Thank you so much for being here till like 9:30 almost. We'll see you guys in next week's session. Have a good night.